Hey everyone, it's Father Sean for another episode of the Couch Chat. This time, check out what happened to this mug. It lost a handle. You might wonder how it lost a handle, and that's a very good question. I was sitting here in the office one day, and my phone rang for a FaceTime call. And turns out my younger brother had told my niece, who is, 20 months old now, that I could juggle. And so she, juggle. And so I'm juggling coffee mugs, and one mug hit this mug's handle, and the handle just blew apart. And so we're missing a handle. And then she continually, throughout the rest of the conversation, said, "You broke it! You broke it!" And I did. So you can't argue with that 20-month-old. So anyways, that's the mug. That's what happened, but good thing is it still holds coffee. So we're back here at talking through those merger meetings that happened this fall. We're kind of in the winter months now, so hopefully everybody's kind of settling in. I hope they're clear enough. Every now and then I get some follow-up questions. So if you have follow-up questions, love to hear back from our parishioners. If there's something that's not clear that needs better explained, feel free to reach out and ask. So the questions that we wanted to kind of touch on, two of them were capital improvement projects. So one of them, and remember we were discussing this back in March, right? That's when this group got together. So one of them was just existing projects. What are we going to do with existing projects? And one of the things that we decided to do was to of course, we've got to keep every project that we're already under contract with, right? If we're going to do it, we're going to do it. But then there was this impetus to kind of, for each parish, to kind of see what things we want to get laid out in this next year. We really kind of tried to hone in on the summer and into the fall as to what projects we'd like to at least really get the ball rolling in these next few months before everything comes together. And that just seemed like we would do our best to do that. So a couple things to say about that. One is why we kind of got a couple projects that hopefully everybody knows about rolling. One would be the air conditioning at St. John, and the other would be the windows at St. Lawrence. So both of those, when we thought, let's get projects rolling that we know we need to get done, let's get that going. So those are a couple things that are happening. And then the other thing that's been probably a more recent development is that we have a new musician at Immaculate Conception. And so at IC, we're beginning to look at the organ. Now, I say beginning, but it's almost like we're looking at it again. So I remember when I first got here, there was a discussion about the organ at Immaculate Conception, and I heard maybe it was 20 years ago the organ had been discussed also, just knowing that it needed some serious, tender, loving care. So we're looking at that. We don't have any solid plans or anything, but we just know this is on the radar of things that need to happen. So there might be more about that in the coming months, about the organ at Immaculate Conception. So that's one. Any existing projects that are there, we're going to keep doing those projects, right? We're not going to back out. That was just one of the questions that came up in March that we shared with everybody. Thought we'd share it again. The second thing is probably a bit more complicated than just what we've signed we're going to do, was this question: are people going to be able to give to capital improvement projects, whether it's at whatever's happening at a certain one of our locations or for a particular project in general? So some of the things we're considering is if people want to give money, we want to make sure they have the opportunity to do that. If people want to support a project, if they want to do something like that, right? Whether that's new windows, whether that's a parking lot getting repaved, or whatever it is, we want to make sure people are able to give to what they want to give. There was one consideration that this committee was reflecting upon, though, was if people are able to just give all of their financial contributions to just the buildings and grounds at a particular parish, is there a worry then that the Holy Face of Jesus parish wouldn't be sufficiently funded? So if you could give and all of your money just went to a particular buildings and grounds, would we be able to make payroll, right? Would we be able to make sure that we could fund CCD and outreach programs and all the different things that we do at the parish outside of just keeping the buildings running? So we wanted to make sure that the parish itself was sufficiently funded And if people could only give to the buildings and grounds, would a lot of people do that? So there was a little bit of, we want to ensure the fiscal stability of the Holy Face of Jesus Parish. So how do we ensure that it's sufficiently funded while giving people the opportunity to donate towards particular projects? So the solution that come up was, well, give people the opportunity to give to projects. So when a project comes up, whether that's stained glass windows, whether that's a parking lot being repaved, heck, even sometimes a bell system goes out, to give people an opportunity to do that. And so we may have capital campaigns from time to time where we've got to raise so much money, but it might just be keeping people up to date on what's going on if people want to pay for those particular projects. But at the current time, we're not going to do the capital improvement envelope. And that's just to make sure that everything's sufficiently funded for the parish. So that's starting July 1st, 2024. That's when we're going to stop doing the capital improvement envelope, or have one of those for every parish. Now, it might have gotten in the boxes already because we have to order envelopes for the parish like almost a year in advance. So that could have already gotten in there. So we want to allow people to donate to particular projects, but just capital funds at a particular parish at this time we're not going to do. We might in the future, right? In the future we might be able to say, okay, things are stable as a parish, so if people want to just give to this certain thing or this certain campus, they can do that. So for now, it'll be giving to projects, and we'll do our best to communicate when those projects are happening, whether, and all those different examples of what happens at a parish. So the basic theme that we've been talking about in all of these is building confidence. So we want to do our best to build confidence that things are going to be maintained, and not only maintained, but improved. And hopefully we've done that over the past couple of years to ensure, and we'll do that this year, to ensure that our buildings are going to be not just maintained, but improved. So definitely feels like we're on that right track. So that's this week's episode of the Couch Chat with the crushed mug handle. So thanks everybody for paying attention. We'll be back with another episode of the Couch Chat next week. God bless.